Make some noise for your amazing host.
Hey travelers, hope you guys had a comfortable sleep at the Hope Falls Inn. Their pillows are the softest in town. I'm still doing some troubleshooting on your engine here, so I need some more time to make sure your truck is back up and running. We've got lots of other stories to share around the campfire, and Mrs. Coyote is cooking up a fresh batch of chili, so make sure to stop by. But before you do, let's take a look at what Mr. Coyote has going on in his shop.
Coming up.
What do a horse named Charlie and a stomach full of butterflies have in common? Don't wander too far, there's more of Off Track right around the corner.
I had a horse named Charlie once, but I'm not sure what that has to do with a stomach full of butterflies. Anyways, let's check out what happens next. First, we will watch a fun pre-show video, then we will worship together, and then listen to today's Bible story. Go ahead and click on the download button below this video to access your Get Real guide. Inside, you will find everything you need to stay on track during the week, including questions to think about and fun games to play. Before we move any further, let's check out this video.
Hey everyone, today we are opening letters that you sent to us, and we're also popping a few balloons on one of our favorite segments called Mail Time.
And we have a couple letters here. Looks like this is oh, look at this. Let's start out with this awesome drawing of a cheetah. I love the nice orange sun and all the spots of our cheetah. I could tell that was a cheetah and not a hippo because of its spots. Could you tell?
I could. So this letter actually comes from someone named Lily.
Ooh.
And she actually included some really fun Polaroids in here and her sweet little fluffy pets.
I love that. Are those dogs? I thought those
And
were cheetahs.
the ears, I'm gonna say dog.
Yes, okay, I'd like to read Lily's letter. It says, "Hi, my name is Lily. I love watching Sandals Church Kids. One of my favorite things are the Mail Time videos and the worship songs. Thank you so much, Lily, for sending in that letter. I love your cheetah drawing, and who knows, maybe someday you'll own a cheetah." You never know.
I love that.
Ooh, this one's
Okay,
big.
this is a big envelope, and this is actually from one of our Sandals Church Anywhere campuses. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, Sandals Church Anywhere campuses are groups of families and people that meet everywhere around the world inside their home, like a Sandals Church campus. And this one actually comes from our group out in South Carolina, and it
Whoa.
is packed with tons of fun letters and drawings. So let's take a look at them.
Ooh, this one's fun. I see a handprint right here.
Same.
This one has some fun colors.
This one has a joke. What did the pencil say to the other pencil? He said, "You're looking sharp." So good.
Not good
so
history.
Good.
Okay, I don't want to miss any of these.
Have we looked at this turtle yet?
Not the turtle.
Okay, here's a turtle. So good.
We have a drawing of a little lady here, and she has a matching dress and a matching maybe purse or ball.
Or a ball. Another turtle.
Another
This is great.
hand.
This is a sunshine, a tree, and a turkey or a bird.
Okay, this right here is from Aiden, and Aiden drew a fire turtle. Look at this, see the fire turtle? There's maybe like electricity flowing through this fire turtle too.
I love that. And this is a snake in the grass, and on the back, a turtle.
We have a photo of a family here too, and it says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life," which comes from John 3:16. Here's our cute, awesome family. Thank you guys so much for sending us all these letters. I hope to visit you guys at your Sandals Church Anywhere campus, which is probably in your home, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So cool.
Love
And
it.
actually, our last letters come inside these balloons. So we have started receiving balloons, deflated balloons, in our office, and they have been sent to us from Moreno Valley.
Yeah.
We are so excited to open them, but there are letters in here, and there's like no way to get these letters out. Like you can't, they've like unfolded inside of here.
There's only one way to do it.
There's only one way to do it, and I think that's by popping the letters. Are you
Okay,
ready?
it's gonna get
It's gonna be
loud.
loud, so if you need to plug your ears, that's
Brace
okay.
yourself.
Go.
Woo!
That's one. It's from Taryn, and it says, "Hi, my name is Taryn. I'm going to try to draw a pickle tree." That is definitely a
And a
pickle tree
dragon.
and a dragon.
I love
Darren,
it.
I love your pickle tree and your dragon. That's so cool. I like your dragon. Your dragon's flying over and is like,
I love
I'm
it.
gonna eat that pickle tree. And the pickle tree's like, I'm going to eat the dragon. I don't know what happened.
You ready for the next
I'm
one?
ready. Here we
Okay.
go.
Brace
Let's do it
yourself,
together.
everybody.
I think there's a hole in this one, which means we're gonna have to use our brute force.
Oh, ugh.
There we go. Dear Sandals Church kids, I love you. And there's a drawing of a rainbow and a heart, and it's from Emily.
Thanks, Emily.
I like how tiny that is.
So
It's very
sweet.
good. This would fit in a wallet. We lost it. Oh, there it is.
It looks like
Ooh.
a house.
What type of house is that? Is that an eyeball right there?
Might be. It's like a Cyclops house
Cyclops
with
house.
a tree wearing earrings.
I like that. Wait, where's the other one we got?
The pickle
okay,
tree?
so let's give, there we go. Now the pickle tree
This
is
is
kind of
good.
at the top. There's a dragon that's flying, and the dragon is flying right underneath a heart.
Yeah, because it
And
just finished raining,
it just finished raining.
so now there's a rainbow in the sky.
So good. Merino Valley, thank you
Thank
guys
you.
so much for sending your awesome balloons and all of those letters. And if you're watching this right now saying, wait a second, I want to be featured on Mail Time and have your letters read, or us do a challenge, or maybe me draw something for you, or receive a sticker, there are two awesome ways that you can be a part of what we're doing here. The first one is sending us a physical piece of mail, and you can do that by sending your letter to Sandals Church Kids at 150 Pomerita Avenue, Riverside, California, 92507, or you can email us at mail@sandalskids.com. Whatever way you choose, we can't wait to read your letter, and we will see you guys next time.
All right, friends, it's time to jump into a time of worship together. Today, we're talking about how God brings us hope. So that means we can choose to trust God's promises. Now, have you ever felt like you didn't have hope in something, or that something seemed too impossible to happen? Well, when we trust God and His promises, that means we can actually start believing that God can do impossible things. While we worship today, think about the times that you trusted God and actually got to see the amazing things that He can do. Use your voice to thank Him for those times. You might also follow along with emotions, raise your hands, or just close your eyes. No matter what, worship God fully. Now stand up and let's worship together now.
In the darkness, you are righteous. Jesus, you are the rightful King. Never changing, never failing. You've never given up on me. You will take the throne forever. All will bow and say, we will worship you forever young, forever free. So lift up a word, raise up a shout, for the God I love deserves His praises loud. So I will praise His name, praise His holy name, praise His name. Whoa. Every heart, every tongue confess the glories of His righteousness and praise His name. Here we go. In the darkness, you were righteous. Jesus, you are the rightful King. Never changing, never failing. You've never given up on me. You'll take the throne forever. All will bow and say, we will worship you forever young, forever free. So lift up a word, raise up a shout, for the God I love deserves His praises loud. Praise his holy name. Praise his name. Whoa. Every heart, every tongue confess the glories of his righteousness and praise his name. Praise his name. Praise his holy name. Praise his name. Glory, 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 oh hallelujah. Only the Lord gives wisdom, knowledge and understanding come from him. Only the Lord gives wisdom, knowledge and understanding come from him. Man is the faucet, God is the water coming out. We need his words to pour out. Man is the bucket, God is the rain coming down. We need his word. We can't make the water, we don't write the words. We are praying to the one who does. Only the Lord gives wisdom, knowledge and understanding come from him. Only the Lord gives wisdom, knowledge and understanding come from him. Man is the faucet, God is the water coming out. We need his words to pour out. Man is the bucket, God is the rain coming down. We need his word. No, we can't make the water, we don't write the word. We are praying to the one who does. Only the Lord gives wisdom, knowledge and understanding come from him. Only the Lord gives wisdom, knowledge and understanding come from him.
As we gather around the campfire today, we're talking about the story of Isaiah and the spark in the dark from the Bible in Isaiah chapter 9, verse 2 through 7. We'll learn how God gives people who turn away from him the fair justice they deserve, as well as the undeserved hope for their future. This week, we'll see how God brings us hope, and that means we can choose to trust God's promises. So lean in, warm your hands by the fire in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. Looks like you're still stuck in Hope Falls. Well, don't worry, we've got plenty of room here around the campfire. We've got our hot cocoa and we've got marshmallows, so feel free to treat yourself to some. And let's go ahead and get to some imagining to pass the time. Okay, so here's the deal. I want you to imagine if your friend had the best dad in the entire world. Their dad spends a ton of time with them. He takes them to the skate park, he teaches them super awesome tricks, he builds stuff with them and shows them awesome science experiments and magic tricks. And he takes your friend on trips to Disneyland, to the beach, and even camping in the mountains. Your friend's dad gives them nice clothes and cooks them their favorite food and lets them watch their favorite TV show every single night. And he even reads books to them and gives them the best hugs when they are sad. He tells them how much he loves them and how important they are to him every single day. And he teaches them all of the important things in life. But when their amazing, awesome dad asks them to do something, like a really easy chore or just to be nice to their sibling, your friend completely ignores him and instead does the exact opposite. And not just once, but every single time he asks your friend to do something, they just yell "no" as loud as they can, right in his face, and they run away. Well, what do you think would happen? What would be the fair thing for their dad to do? Now, did you know that the Israelites did something kind of similar in the Bible? Well, you guys look really cozy here with our hot chocolate, so how about I tell you the very true story of what happened to the Israelites in the Bible? Okay, so last week we left off in our story when Isaiah had a vision about God's holiness and how he had to be made holy too so that he could be with God. Then we heard how God gave Isaiah a message about the justice that he was going to bring on the Israelite people because they had chosen to ignore God's holiness. We know that God is always good and always fair, but when we choose to not follow him, he is still just. We pick up in our story with Isaiah telling the Israelites God's message. Now, the prophet Isaiah gave a speech where he told the Israelites that they were in the middle of darkness. They weren't on a camping trip. Isaiah didn't mean that Isaiah was just sleeping in the middle of the night. Isaiah used darkness as a picture of their sin and God's judgment on them. Isaiah was warning them that their sin had consequences from God. And remember, the Israelites had chosen to turn away from God and stop doing the right things big time. And no matter how many chances God had given them, they chose to do the wrong things over and over and over again. But Isaiah's message wasn't just a warning for what was going to happen. He told the Israelites that they would have light in the darkness, which was a picture of hope in the future. Isaiah said that even though God was bringing his judgment or his consequences against them, that God had also promised to make the Israelite nation grow and have happiness and have joy again. Isaiah told them that this joy would feel like when they were victorious over their enemies at war. Isaiah told them God's promise to give them a son to lead them who would be God himself. The Israelites didn't know it yet, but this promised king was Jesus. Isaiah said that this promised king would have a kingdom built on power, peace, goodness, fairness, and love. Now, the Israelites just can't seem to get it together and follow God, even though God has given them everything. So let's go back and remember all the amazing things God has done for the Israelites. Starting with, he led them out of their slavery in Egypt and through the wilderness. He kept them safe, gave them amazing food to eat, and he was with them the whole time. He had them build a tabernacle and then a temple so that God could live with them. He led them into the promised land and gave them amazing kings to lead them. He grew their family into a huge nation and blessed them, giving them more than they deserved over and over and over again. But they still chose to ignore God and his commands. The Israelites chose to treat people unfairly and to hurt the poor and the helpless. They decided to worship other fake gods. They were not a picture of who God is to the rest of the world like they were made to be. God did not accept this bad behavior from the Israelites. He brought judgment on them, which we'll learn more about next week, but he also still decided to give them hope for a better future where the Israelites would follow a special king, Jesus, who would show them the good and right way to live, which is God's way. And when we act like the Israelites, God does the same for us. And that's why the one thing to remember is that God brings us hope.
You know, this story about the Israelites reminds me a little bit of having an operation. Now, I actually have a game called Operation right here. Let's see how well I do it if I was a doctor doing surgery. Scalpel? Oh. All right, here we go. So the whole point of this game is to not touch the edges or else I'll get zapped. This game's actually pretty old, so I don't even know if the zap still works. Let's try it. Okay, that definitely still works. I'm gonna be careful this time. All right, so we have butterflies in the stomach. Let's go for that one. Don't touch the sides. Okay, let's try again. Let's see, I think I'm gonna go for the spare ribs. Oh man, I'm bad at this. Nope, okay, I'm gonna go for the wishbone. Which is the easiest one here? Oh, this one looks good. Nope, where do I turn this guy off? All right, we're gonna go for the wishbone. Oh my goodness. Here, I know how to beat this game. You ready? That is how you do it. All right, I'm obviously not the best doctor and I didn't make some good choices there, but it does make me think about having a surgery. Surgeries aren't really that fun. It can hurt to have a surgery and sometimes it hurts afterwards as people recover too. So why do people have surgeries in the first place? Well, it's because they're necessary or essential for that person to keep being healthy. Lots of times surgeries can help you see better, like laser eye surgery, or it can help you chew better, like getting a rotten tooth removed, or it can help so it stops hurting when you run, like a knee surgery. Now, it might hurt for a little while, but later that person will feel much better and be much healthier because of the surgery. Sometimes God will do the same thing in our lives. He will bring judgment for our sin or a consequence that isn't very fun. But God does this so we can be spiritually healthy. He helps us get rid of all the sinful things and gives us good things like love and hope to replace them. Sometimes God lets hard things happen to us so we learn what is right and wrong. But we can always trust that God is doing everything to help us because He loves us. He promises to be with us when we follow Him and take care of us no matter what happens in our lives. And that's why our action step for today is that we can choose to trust God's promises.
Hi, my name is Tiffany, and I want to tell you about a time that I chose to trust God's promises. Have you ever had someone say something to you that made you feel confused, mad, or even sad? That happened to me, and I have to tell you, it felt pretty awful. I was spending time with a new friend, someone I was getting to know and was excited to learn more about. I thought everything was going really well, that we were having fun together, and then all of a sudden, she said something to me. And you know what? I'm not even gonna tell you what she said because it was really hurtful. It was only a few words, but it caught me by surprise. It wasn't kind, it wasn't helpful, and just like that, I was so confused. I felt hurt, I felt sad. I left that day doubting myself. Now, in my mind, I knew what she said about me wasn't true, but my feelings and thoughts were all tangled up, and so was my stomach. So I asked God to help me see myself the way He sees me. I asked Him to help me see the truth and to help me trust His promises. God reminded me that while people's words can be really powerful, there is nothing more powerful than His promises. God promises that He sees me and He knows me. In fact, He knows me better than anyone else. He promises me that He loves me and He won't ever leave me. God promises me that He is always working in my life, and He can take even the things that are confusing, hard, and sad, and use them to do good things and to help me grow. I didn't understand why my friend said the things she did, but I chose to trust God's promises. And you know what? A few days later, that friend called me to tell me that she realized her words were not kind and she was sorry. But even if she hadn't said sorry to me, God used this to remind me that I can trust Him. Just like I chose to trust God's promises when someone said something that made me feel sad, you guys can trust God's promises too.
Well, it's been another beautiful day in Hope Falls, and hopefully you're getting settled in. Let's go over our series memory verse from Ezekiel 36:26. It says, "Also, I will teach you to respect me completely. I will put a new way to think inside you. I will take out the stubborn heart like stone from your bodies, and I will give you an obedient heart of flesh." We saw in our story how God gave Isaiah a message for the Israelites that even though He would bring judgment on them for their sin, He also promised to give them hope for a better future. That's why the one thing to remember is that God brings us hope, and that means we can choose to trust God's promises. You can live out the vision of being real with yourself, God, and others by opening up your Get Real guide to the Now What. Grab a flashlight and go in the darkest spot of your home. Maybe it's a closet or a pantry or under your bed. Stand in the dark and count to 30. Then turn on your flashlight. It's amazing the difference the light makes. Just like a flashlight brings light to the darkness, God gives us hope that helps us see the good in every situation. That's why we can trust Him. We look forward to more time around the campfire with you next week, and I'll see you then.